So today, again, just using the simplicity of materials, we're just going to create a little mini zine. And so essentially it's just a piece of paper that you take. Let me find the correct one. And we're just going to create a little book out of it. So doing a few folds and just a little cut or a little tear will create a book. So you can basically make a little mini book to fill with doodles as such. I folded up, made my book, and then I just scribbled, and then I just kind of splattered water on. And so, you know, you've created a little mini book with some scribbles on it, and, you know, my little numbers that I love to do, or alphabet, and then just add some water. And yeah, so just doing something simple like that, and then you can just fill your page up, right? And this little booklet makes about 8 pages. Yep, done it. So take your A4, 8.5 by 11. I just fold it in half one direction, so some people call it hot dog style, and then just make a nice fold there. Then we just do it the other way, they call hamburger style, and then fold it down that way. And what I do is I open it up, and then I take that hamburger style, and then I fold it back in on it towards that center line where I had that fold. Or other people have made their 4 folds, and for for simplicity's sake, they just fold it over again, so that at the end they end up with a page that has 8 sections to it.
Yeah.
If I've lost anyone, let me know. Not super critical, because we do have links if you need to go back to it. And if you have a pair of scissors handy, that's fine. If you don't, so what I do is I fold it in half. Let's see if I do this right. Fold it in half at the center point, the hot dog style. And from this midpoint to the next fold line here is where I cut or I tear. I'll see if I can do that in front of you. Probably not very well. I think I did show you this. Yeah. So I'm just tearing, or you can cut, because let's see if I can do this. So I've torn it at that point. So this should look like this right now. Peekaboo.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You could have worn that as a mask.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to breathe very well. So once you've done that, you can, with the folded top pointing up, in that case, I'll move it towards you. You collapse it upon itself, and it doesn't want to behave, but let's see if I can do this. It collapses upon itself, and then you fold it up, and I will I'll pull one that has a cleaner cut. So that, and it collapses on itself. I know that was very clear, but hopefully, yep. I got a thumbs up from Barb. if everyone can thumbs up, excellent. You're all geniuses. You're not as
amazing trick.
It's a great trick. So you guys are awesome. So that is the mini zine.
I think it's best. It's, the best format is this long piece.
But I'll show you something else. If you don't have even that, and you really, like, I have lots of scrapbook paper, so I thought, would it work if it was a 12 by 12 or something that was square? And in fact, it does work. So that's my little,
nice.
My background page is already done. And then the other day I went out and I just grabbed, you know, a magazine.
Oh yeah.
And then I did the same thing. So again.
And then you can glue stuff over top.
And you can glue it because now it's not a precious, it's junk mail basically, or something free.
Yeah.
Paint it, cover it, scribble
Yeah.
over it, and it's already like you don't have that blank page to worry about now. And I can glue more stuff that I've picked up at stores or just scribble, paint, do whatever. So those are two examples. And then I will show you. So this is brilliant. I have to thank Dawn for this because I'm like, what do I do with all these mini zines? They're all over the place. And yeah, and I thought, well, how are you going to even bind it? And it's like, duh. All she did, and she could probably explain this better, but just create a little cover, right, out of scrap again. So I did the book out of a little pizza box I had. Created a little journal cover, covered it with paper, right? So now I have a little booklet. Use some string or whatever you have. I only had the baker's twine, so it's a little loosey-goosey, but you basically take your mini zine, you know, find the midpoint, you know, put the string in the middle, put it in the book, and then you just wrap it, tie it, and now it's in little book form, right?
Yeah.
Up here. And then if you want, you can even pull it out, right? That's the wonderful thing about it, you know, and you can change the order of it, pull it out, pull the whole thing out if you want, pull it outside string. So the wonderful thing about doing these mini zines is, you know, you can do a week's worth of journaling, a month, whatever, right? So I've used it, like I said here earlier when Saskia walked away, I was doing a weekly kind of journaling, not journaling, but drawing, doodling kind of class. And so every week would be different doodles. And then now I have a little reference book of all the different doodles I can do. The other thing that I can do is I was like going, oh, I bought some new things during COVID and I'm such a foodie. And so, you know, I wrote down in my little mini booklet, what's new? Like, you know, wrote down what I bought, the significance of it, drew a little picture of it, colored it in with felt pens.
I love that.
You know,
the doodle journal idea. It's like me
yeah, I
keeping
know.
my journal, but
Yeah. And then, you know, this is the pantry idea. But like I said, you know, so we have, you know, little samples of doodles, you know, things that people have created online. This one's a pocket guide to COVID etiquette that someone did and printed. So they made it available. So I printed that out because that was a point when I was just going a little bit crazy with people not following rules. And so that I found that zine. And so that goes into the.
Did you make that? No.
No, I actually found the link that we gave you guys.
Okay.
She actually did the mini zine workshop, but she also did a follow-up on a pocket guide to etiquette. And you can actually find this, and we can probably provide the link if you want. You just print it out, fold it out, and then you have your own little souvenir of the time.
I like the style. It's very artistic.
It is. She's
Yeah.
very artistic. So that's basically it for making a really easy kind of little book that you can put your inks in, doodles in, you know, your daily, how do I feel? Like it just runs a gamut and it's really quite doable with any paper that you've got. Since we were talking about time this month, that this actually came up really as a thing that I had found probably a month or two ago. And NPR had the same girl who did that zine. She actually did a workshop on what she called a QUARANZINE. And so there were these prompts, and it was a way to fill up that mini zine with something as a kind of reminder, memento of what's going on during our COVID times. So I was thinking whether or not you have made the book or not, or if you wanted to embellish it, collage, color it, certainly do so. And what I'll do is kind of run through the questions for you to ponder, and then you can think about it some more and work on it in the next week, two, or, you know, do whatever you want. Like it can be answers that you answer through collage, through color, through drawing, through line, whatever you want, or just, you know, note form, or actually get into the whole story like I tend to do. So yeah, let's kind of get into this. So the first one is, you know, page one or your cover page. So that can be the title of your zine if you want to think about that in terms of the quarantine that we're going through, or wait till afterwards when I've read you the prompts. So page two, after the cover, is I'll ask the question, and again, you can express it through color, line, or actually answering the question. So on page two, I will ask you this prompt, and you can think about it and write whatever you want or create whatever marks you want on it. And it is, what has been the hardest thing about living through the pandemic? You know, just in the interest of time, we'll just have like maybe 2 minutes on each prompt, and then we can go back to it at the end of the day, during the week, or whenever you feel that you want to approach the answers to these questions. But today we just read out the prompts, so you have them, and of course we'll send them out as a follow-up email, and we'll give you some resources for the videos, etc. So the next page, the question is, what part of your life has changed most since the pandemic? So let's go move on to the next prompt. What moments have been surprisingly delightful?
Delightful.
Come on, we have Zoom. We have Zoom, right? I think is wonderful.
Are we now in the middle of the book?
We are on
thinking we
page
have
4.
next-
Yes, we are. We are in the middle of the book.
For me, it's been catching up, you know, having time to Zoom with family overseas. We can actually make time because it's nighttime here and daytime there.
Right.
It's quite amazing.
And I found that it's like, oh wow, I can to connect with people or attend things that you weren't able to do when you were actually physically going to places. So that was like the upside of it to me. The next one is, what is something new to you that you learned about yourself or others? And or I learned I'm really chatty.
I'm sure I
you
told you
couldn't be
that
more
before,
chatty.
Nancy.
Oh,
I tend to overtake some Zoom calls and just like go on it. So, you know, the next question I have for everyone is, what is something that has helped you get through the pandemic? So I think
Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah, Zoom indeed for me.
Netflix for me.
Netflix.
Oops, that was my child.
That is hilarious. So let's move on to the next prompt. How has the pandemic changed the way you see yourself, the world? How are you doing, Saskia?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Is everybody answered these questions now?
Well,
Is that
it's up to
Yeah.
you right now. It's just something to think about. You don't have to
Yeah,
answer it today.
I won't answer it until later.
Yeah,
I'm an afterthought person.
so am I. Because I've had a lot of time to sit with this, and I still haven't actually answered all the questions. So,
Yeah.
so let's do the last prompt. And the last prompt is, what part of life during the pandemic do you hope to remember?
Uh-huh.
Right? That's an interesting question.
I've already made a one COVID.
Oh, I knew someone would do that. Look at that. I saw a lot of that type of decorations out this year, COVID. Halloween decorations. Someone was asking for a lot of empty toilet rolls, and they had painted them and stuffed them.
Oh yeah.
And then those were like the parts of the virus. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was like
Oh.
all sorts of things people were doing.
It's a good reminder to remember that you can send your things in, you can send pictures, or we can pick up the originals if you're on the west side.
Yeah, and Keiko did post that earlier on, but we'll have to post that again. Can you post that again, Keiko, the Facebook page?
Yes.
So the last, I think it was the last kind of newsletter, we did include a Facebook link. Just if anyone wants to post what they've done, in the month or so, like when we haven't met up with, what they're working on, links to, like, if you have any links to interesting things that are going on that you would like to share with us, that's a place to do that. If anyone finds anything interesting, or even if it's not related to the visual journaling, so like if Jill, you want to open the invite to others to some of the things that you were discussing, we can certainly put that on the Facebook group as well.
And also, Nancy, remind everyone who doesn't want to do that on Facebook, they can also send it to us and we can post it for them.
Yes, and I made note of that, I think, earlier, but yes, if you don't have access to it, don't want to do it that way, certainly you can email Keiko. If there isn't a way for you to send that in, then we can gather whatever you want to submit and share with us as well. And I did mention in the chat as well, if anyone wants to play around with the markers to make alcohol inks or their own inks, I actually got quite a few dried out markers. Some work, but I have bags of them that are sitting in the corner. So, oh, look, Dawn's showing the alcohol ink sample.
Wow.
So that's what you can do.
That's stunning.
That's stunning, yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely going to do that. I mean, what a great way. I know Crayola had a buyback, they had a way of, you could send back old crayons.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know that, I mean, you could reuse them you could completely recycle and then send it back empty.